Salena Zito joins us. She's the co-author of The Great Revolt, a must-read for anybody who wants to understand politics and what's really going on in America today. And she wrote an article in the New York Post how Pete, is it Buttigieg? How do you say it?
Buttigieg. It's like saying edge twice.
Okay,
Yeah.
Buttigieg. I can't say it. He can't be president.
Mayor Pete.
Okay, so Mayor Pete, you wrote how he could hurt Trump in the Rust Belt. First of all, explain who this guy is for most people who may not know him.
So Mayor Pete has been the mayor of South Bend, Indiana since 2011. Youngest elected mayor at 29. He has served our country. He is a Harvard grad. He speaks 8 languages.
Oh my gosh!
And yeah, I know you feel really dumb when you say.
Yeah, I know. I can't even pronounce his last name. The guy speaks 8 languages.
He's deeply faithful.
What does that mean? Wait. What does that mean? Deeply faithful.
He takes his faith incredibly seriously. He's a devout Episcopalian. It's a very much part of his life, and how his worldview is held. Now remember though, Episcopalians tend to be there's a portion of the Episcopalians that are incredibly liberal. So I also think that's an important component to understand about his faith.
Yeah, that's a social justice religion many times.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And so he's very accomplished. And he made the decision that a lot of millennials make, and they come back, not a lot, but a sizable portion of millennials they come back to their hometown and try to be part of fixing the problem. And so
Is he liked in town?
In town, he's definitely liked. But see, he's never had to run on any national issues. Mm-hmm. He runs, as you should always run when you're running for local office, is fixing the roads and the bridges and making sure that the garbage is picked up.
And does he do a good job at that? Does he do a good job of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there
a good job of that?
Has there been corruption in his town, and has he cleaned it up?
He has been working on that within his own administration. No.
Okay,
but
good.
It's. Yeah.
All right.
So, he in terms of being a good city manager, he does a good job of that. And in my interview, when I interviewed him, I also interviewed that guy who's at the opposite end, who has to work with him on things, and they don't always agree on issues. His name was Jeff Ray. He was a Republican mayor from a neighboring town who now runs the chamber. So they have to work together a lot. So I thought that was an interesting component to put in there, because you have to understand how he works with opposing views.
Okay, so I read an article, and I have to apologize. For the last hour, I've been misrepresenting his position, because I just heard the actual audio, and that's not what I read this morning. Is he a socialist or a capitalist?
I think he tries to walk both lines. So if in my interview with him, here's what he has going for him, Glenn. He doesn't talk down to people.
Yes.
He'll eat a Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
And he doesn't have a problem with that.
Right.
And he's able to talk about faith in an authentic way.
Mm-hmm.
Full stop. What he does not have going for him is he's pretty far left. In our interview, he says that he supports a woman's right to have an abortion in the 3rd trimester. He believes that we need to look at raising taxes. He's for a lot of these sort of freebies in terms of like healthcare and childhood preschool education.
How about college?
On energy. He also likes to have it both ways on that. He's not very defined on that. And in all honesty, in my interview with him, we didn't get in there. But we did get in there, and I think this is a really important component, is that on energy, he's a solar and a wind guy. And I said to him, I said, look, we had 30% capacity last year. We have all these shale jobs, and we have the ability, the nuclear capabilities. He was not having anything of that. He wants to go full solar and full wind and be able to develop a battery so that we are able to do that.
You would have a solar wind farm the size of California. Where does he want to put that?
I didn't say.
Okay,
right in South Bend, I'm sure.
Right
in South Bend.
But here's what's really important. Here in Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and other parts
That's
of the Midwest, energy jobs are crushing it. I mean, not only if you look at my story today in the Washington Examiner, I interviewed the head of the Labor Council Board in the region, and he's the guy who got Connor Lamb elected in my district, and he's the guy who got Pam Iovino elected in that special election last week. Why? Because he ran moderate Democrats who are fully supportive of these energy jobs. We've got kids that walk out of certain high schools who provide these technical classes that are able to walk out and start making $70,000 a year. In the Parish of Appalachia, where I live in Pittsburgh, that's a lot of money. And that also strengthens communities. And his name is Darren Kelly, and he tells me, look, if they come here talking about the new Green Deal, my guys are not going to vote for them. Mm-hmm. End of story. End of story.